with Mr. Ssegawa, right? Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Ssegawa, Gerald,
Yes.
who is the chairperson of the Nightlife Industries Association, president, so to say, not just chairperson of the Nightlife Industries Association. And we would like to discuss, one, what is happening to the Nightlife Association, given that the president put a curfew of 9 p.m. and recently in his address to the nation, he said he will not be extending the curfew to 11, as many people have been asking him to do so. Almost 1 year, Mr. Ssegawa, of being on shutdown for you, the Nightlife Association group, and we're asking right now, how is it that you guys are surviving, given that for almost 1 year and more, you have been on a shutdown, and there's school, a lot of you are parents who have children to take to school. How are you managing?
Thank you very much, Latifa. The situation outside there is quite worrying. You can imagine spending 12 months without earning a single penny when you have all these dues. And remember, when you're in business, no one runs business with his or her personal money. You borrow money from here and there, from banks, from colleagues, from friends. So it's quite very, very depressing. But we are surviving. I think we are surviving on the mercy, on God's mercy. So it has been a tough journey, but here we are, and we are hoping the best is coming. Nightlife Industries Association, an organization that brings all stakeholders in the nightlife sector. We are trying to do everything we can within our means to ensure that our colleagues, our business fraternity stays at our front. In doing so, we are in talks with different players, the government, the other private sector, to ensure that at least within the shortest time possible soon, the nightlife sector should be open. Yes.
When you talk of nightlife, who are those people who are in that nightlife association? What are the groups?
Well, it is a membership-based organization. You find the DJs, the artists, the musicians, the venue owners, the bar owners, the bouncers, all people that work from evening hours until wee hours of morning belong to the nightlife. So if you want to be a member, for example, Latifa, you, the TVs, the media also is part of the nightlife. So much as some of the media fraternity have not joined, you're welcome. You're welcome to join.
So whoever operates during the night joins the association with a fee that they pay. How many members do we have in the association so far, for me to understand exactly?
It is a national association. So at the moment we have 2,461 membership.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, of course, the government has said that it is not going to extend the curfew, which we thought was going to be a ray of hope for Nightlife Association and people who work at night. But the president said that he's not going to extend the curfew. And we don't see that the lockdown is going to be opened up anytime soon, as said by the president. And you said, however, that you were in talks with some stakeholders about the way forward for people who are in the nightlife. Could you take us through a little bit of the discussions that you're having?
One, from the beginning, we have been urging the government to ease restrictions on our sector, simply because, like any other sector, for example, if schools are open, if churches are open, if markets are open. Look, if you go to Owino market, if you go to Chikubo area, you will not find, actually, you not find a single bar that can accommodate a number of people who are in Owino market, who are in downtown, than the people we could actually host in our venues. So we are saying, why keep on restricting the bars and in the other nightlife sector, the cinema, the shows, the live shows. So we have been engaging them like we shall follow the SOPs for example, wearing of the masks. It can be. Then actually, social distancing is very much possible.
But Mr. David, the president's the president's concern is not about the fact that there is congestion in those bars. His concern is that when people drink, they fail to control themselves in social distancing. So his concern is not really about the fact that when you go into a bar, there's no social distancing, but what happens after people drink? Are they able to know that, oh, I'm supposed to keep this distance from a person? Are they able to judge clearly?
First of all, when you're running, for example, a bar or any venue, you put in restrictions. When I was coming in here, I had to do hand washing. They had to take my temperature measures. So all these things ensure that the person who is already accommodated in that venue is free from COVID-19. So the other issue of social distancing is the work of bouncers. They make sure that they ensure that orderliness prevails within that setting. So if someone, for example, if you come to a club and we see you getting tipsy, then the waitresses and waiters, they will notify you that, Sebo, it's high time you leave the venue.
With over 40,000 cases of COVID-19 in our country and 330 deaths in our country, what guarantee do you give people who are watching you right now that if the president agreed to open the nightlife? Because when you talk about the nightlife, we usually concentrate on bars and nightclubs, but there's more to it than the bars and nightclubs. We have these people who are selling at the roadside. We have comedy stores who have not held concerts for a very long time. We have musicians who haven't held concerts for a very long time. What guarantee do you give that the lives of these people who are going into these various things that are happening will be safe?
Latifa,
the use of masks.
Latifa, I can assure you that if the nightlife sector is opened, actually life will continue normal like it has been. I want to put a question across. How many people have died in all these? Have died out of being in attending parties. Last week I was in a function of over 500 people.
And that was a wedding.
A wedding.
Okay.
Over 500 people in one of the five-star hotels around Kampala. And I was like imagining what is happening here. And why not let these people, so let the nightlife sector operate and thrive. We are on the verge of actually collapsing. I'm telling you, 85% of nightlife sector, people are thinking of leaving. Or some of them have completely closed business. So we are thinking of how we can revamp. But I can assure you that if given any opportunity, we are ready to cooperate in whatever most possible to ensure that the lives of people are not at risk, people adhere to the SOPs, and then also look out how we can help government. I am a person who travels across this country. Last week, I was moving from Pakwach to Nakasongola. I didn't notice any single person putting on a mask. And I asked a colleague who was with me in the car, like, you guys, are these people aware of COVID-19? So I discovered that actually a COVID-19 pandemic it seems in Uganda, it seems to be an urban thing. An urban thing. In the rural area, people do not know exactly what happens. No, we need to involve an organization like NIA, Nightlife Industry Association, which is a national association, to reach out to all people and notify them that yes, COVID-19 is a real disease. It exists, it kills, it has a lot of consequences. So we need to adhere to this as we run business. But if you leave us in virtual, without using our structures and our people to continue thriving and surviving, then you're putting pressure on them to look for other ways of survival. The other thing, we need to thank God that Uganda is a blessed country. I'm a Catholic. I believe Uganda is the land of matters. Uganda matters. So we thank God if you look at our neighbors, for example, in Kenya, how they are struggling with COVID-19 cases, and in Uganda, we are not doing better than them in taking these things. But God has blessed us. Uganda is a blessed country. That's why actually it is the pearl of Africa. So we need to utilize all opportunities possible to see that the economy survives alongside COVID-19, because COVID-19 is likely to stay with us. Yes.
Let's look at nightlife versus the curfew versus the rate in crime that has increased in the past few weeks.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, partly when you look at curfew and the nightlife, you actually come to conclusion that curfew is in place for just curtailing people's, it's like a modicum of managing people, managing people's behaviors and the society. Because I ask myself, if you put curfew between 9 and 5, and yet people continue moving, and yet people continue, doing all these funny things, you wonder what is the purpose. The only beneficiaries of curfew are the law enforcement officers who go to these places that are looking for survival and continue getting some kintu kidogo to and let them actually continue operating. So I believe curfew has not played any serious.
So you're saying even when there's curfew in place, there are other places that are operating regardless of the fact that there's curfew in place?
You are the only person in Jerusalem who doesn't know what took place. I think.
Then update me on what is taking place.
You move around. I've told you I move across from Kisoro to to Kabonga. I move from Jinja, from Mbale to Hoima. You see all funny things. Actually, as I've said, curfew only applies in the cities like Kampala, like Gulu, like Lila, like Jinja. But other places, they're actually running business normally.
Okay.
The only thing is that these law enforcement officers, the police, the army, the others, they only come in and, get whatever they want, their share. Otherwise, curfew is not playing any role. I think the topmost management of this country may be out of touch with the ordinary person. But the real thing on ground is that we see no use of curfew because I've seen people moving beyond 9 and continue. You go on the road, you see people moving with cars or whatever. Now, it also brings out that maybe to a local person, to an indigenous person, that maybe this curfew is just a personal ego for people in power. Why? Because they do not see any purpose of it. If you say curfew is there in place at 9 and people continue doing their things and other people continue operating their businesses and whatever. I was somewhere in Chaiwajala yesterday, and I saw people moving at midnight. They were moving. I was somewhere and like, oh, what is happening? So I think we need to, the president, it's my humble appeal to the president that he should sit back and sit down with some of us and get and we need to have a holistic approach whereby we get involved in all these things. Otherwise, it will not be of any use. You need to get all stakeholders, put them together, share with them your ideas, and they share with you their ideas. And then in that holistic manner, we can find amicable solution that every sector continues to survive, and of course also looking out how it can survive. Because at the end of the day, we need each other. The economy needs me, who is a taxpayer. The government needs me. Also, me, I need the government.
And you're saying the nightlife industry has been a big contributor to the tax base of Uganda?
Yes. Now, when you hear like breweries and distillers saying they are the second or third biggest taxpayers, it's not them, it's me. Actually, also nightlife involves those the concert goers, those who go go happening. If they don't go and spend that penny, and that penny is collected from them to Nile breweries, and Nile breweries pays that huge amount of revenue to government, then the government is losing out. Yet government needs to survive. It survives on my taxes.
Well,
so we need
your
each other.
appeal to the president has fallen on deaf ears, not once, not twice, not thrice.
Yes.
And every time you come and appeal to him, the next time he has an address, he says, no, I'm not extending the curfew, and no, I am not going to remove the lockdown on these economies.
Yes.
Now, as the Nightlife Industries Association, what is your plan B? Because we made appeal to the president as many times as possible, and he's the head of state. He still decides, I'm not opening up these economies. So what is your plan B?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, we shall not relent to continue appealing to the president to lift restrictions on the nightlife sector.
Okay.
That's one. And we know with continuous engagements here and there, we shall come to a solution towards regarding that. And secondly, we are devising means of how we can reach to our clients, our customers.
Okay.
For example, we are soon launching an near app. Near app is going to enable clients, customers, get our products to them. For example, if you're in Buziga, and you need a drink, you don't need to go to a bar. You can order online. You can order online and they deliver. We are doing that. We are launching a near app very soon. The other thing, we shall continue to appeal to government to set up an emergency fund of how we can that can help to revamp the economy.
Has
the other thing,
emergency fund come to the Nightlife Industry Association before?
No, not yet.
Not even when the COVID-19 started?
Not yet.
There's a time that musicians got a fund from government. They are part of the Nightlife Association.
As musicians, I'm not quite sure whether they got those funds, but what I know, Nightlife has not received any whatever. The other thing is to ask the government, requesting the government to ensure that, to see how they can negotiate the loan interests on the business players, because we are actually being choked by the loan interest. You're spending 12 months defaulting without paying, paying back the loans. It's a really very, very difficult thing, and we are likely to see majority of our members losing property, losing businesses, their property being confiscated. Then the other thing is government to come in and negotiate with the landlords. Imagine a tenant who has spent 12 months without earning a living and is expected to pay rent
for the 12 months that he hasn't been working.
It's really very, very challenging. So we are asking the government again to see how it can come and we negotiate with the venue owners, the landlords, and see how that rent areas can be managed. And the other thing is to look at the young creative. I'm talking about people and the young people are joined the nightlife sector, the crew, the agents, the promoters. How are they surviving? How are they? Government needs to look at these people. Remember, 75% of Ugandans are young people. Now, if you do not take care of these young people, you're going to have problems. Problems of, you talked about the
increasing crime.
Increasing crime. Now, if they are pushed away from where they have been earning a living, they will be forced to go and find a survivor. How? If Latifa, you have something like a tab or whatever, they will grab it and take it. So government needs to see how it can come intervene in these young creatives to see they survive in business and continue. And these are the backbone of our economy. The youngsters who are down there doing everything possible to see that the economy survives. It's only me and you below 35 that can make this country move forward amidst the COVID pandemic. Yes.
Are there any other economies that the people that were involved in the nightlife that can engage themselves in for now? But because like I said, we are at a point in time where we're supposed to look for a plan B. It doesn't look like the economy is going to be opened anytime soon, regardless of how relentless we are in appealing to the president. So what are some of the other economies that you would advise people who are involved in the nightlife to get into right now?
I would really urge my members, my colleagues, to look at the continental African free trade, whereby we can get all these products and services that we are offering to people in Uganda to other countries in Africa.
That's one way to go.
For example, if you go to countries like Nigeria and Ghana, you'd find our product like Bell or Nile would be very much marketable there. So also would venture in other sectors like agriculture, not to keep on waiting, whatever. The little resources, the little resources we have here, we can invest it in agriculture. I was discussing with a colleague from UK, and he was telling me that a Ugandan pineapple, which is sold here in Uganda at 500 shilling, they could buy it at £4 in UK. So why not, if you have some money, some little money somewhere, and you've been nightlife sector and it's not working at the moment, why don't you venture and do that, and you do agro-processing and how you can export that pineapple to the UK market and find itself on the UK shelves, so, and we continue surviving.
Are we now looking at talking to government to provide a loan scheme or fund scheme to Nightlife Industry Association members to see that such projects are worked upon?
Those are actually the discussions we are looking at, because also as you venture into that, there is a huge obstacle and needs government's intervention. For example, when you look at the taxes involved, why not give a tax-free to these people who are shifting from one sector to the other? If you give them a tax holiday and say, okay, if you've been in nightlife sector, nightlife industry, and now you're shifting, you're repositioning yourself, you're re-engineering yourself from this to this, we shall give you a tax holiday for these years and continue doing this. So we are discussing that with the government, and we hope under the underlying ministry they will come up with a solution very soon. Okay.
On a lighter note, though, there was this mask that you guys had come up with, the one with the zip.
Yes.
Is it still available? Are you still looking at using that to appeal to the president?
Yes,
we are. Nightlife.
Yeah, thank you. We have those masks, and they are actually in operation. Okay. The masks are good, and the manufacturers are there. They are ready to enroll to whoever. If, for example, today nightlife sector is opened up fully, we shall have massive of them on the streets, and people will have them and enjoy them. So we are saying we are ready to provide. We are ready to work within the COVID-19 situations. Then let the government actually look at the opportunities that are involved, because we shall observe all SOPs that are available, and we are by the law-abiding citizens. So let government not get worried of it. The other thing of saying drunkenness, what and what in nightlife,
has been President's concern, the biggest concern.
Now there is a tragedy. The places that are operational right now are these small bufundas, and those are the most risk-averse. Yet the big places, for example, if you go to Governor, you find people manage themselves. I've been to Governor, I've been to these places, I've been to Nyungu ya Mawe. People respect themselves, people distance. Actually, it's only in the bar sector where you find, in the nightlife sector, where you find people cannot just storm into each other. They just build rapport, know each other with time. Then they can congregate and happen. So I believe if they open up, this business of saying people nightlife sector is related to drunkenness, I've not seen such kind of whatever. Now, government should put an emphasis on these people who are operating illegally, and they're actually the most risky places. So I don't know how they are managing those places in upcountry areas. So we need to, I appeal to government to lessen the restrictions on the nightlife sector. Let people go back to work. Let them put a close eye on them, and whoever doesn't adhere, let them close them up.
Okay, so you're asking government to give you a chance to prove yourselves
Yes.
and show that even within the COVID-19 pandemic, you can do good.
Yes.
And you will also help with spreading the word for people to take care of themselves during the COVID-19 situation. And you're also giving us a guarantee that you assure us that, one, there's more greater evil than good in this curfew and the shutdown,
Yes.
more than it would be if the nightlife is opened up. Now, 5 minutes, I'll let you say an appeal to your people in the nightlife in a few minutes before we call an end to this interview.
Thank you very much. Our dear members of Nightlife Industries Association, the NIA, I want to urge you to stay strong. We know the times are not really good, but we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel. We believe very soon things will normalize, and let's be creative as usual. Let's be creative. Let's see that we utilize all opportunities available within the sector and see that we survive. I am appealing to those strong, those strong musicians, artists who have not come up to say something regarding the revamp of our industry, to take this thing serious, because they won't survive if they also keep quiet at this moment. It is this time that people want them actually to know. I'm appealing, I'm asking my customers, our clients out there, the show goers, the concerts, our patrons, to stay calm. Things will definitely normalize, and we believe for the best, and we shall enjoy. Uganda, that once was the Las Vegas of Africa, will retain that position once more, and we believe everything will work out.
Thank you so much for that. I hope everybody who is watching us right now has gotten the message that Gerald had for you in the Nightlife Association Industries. Now we come to the end of the show. Now thank you for being part of the show. I have been dressed by House of Armour, located at South Point Mall, KADAGA, Level 2, Shop 5, and the number is 0706 829 572.